Welcome back to Stack Your Points. As always, I'm Matt from the Matt Clausen YouTube channel. Yeah, it's getting into this costume season. Deal with it. Y'all love it. We designed a credit card around it. I didn't. There's a credit card designed around this theme. Joined as always by RJ from our little show. RJ, how are you today?
You know what, Matt? I'm good. You know why I'm good? Because I have a mirror finish platinum card that is just delightful to look at. It is wonderful. And the icon for our Discord, if you go to stackyourpoints.com, click on the Discord link, is Matt in said Snuggie that our wonderful member Spaceco designed. So we have it there. We have it in person on Matt's body, and I have a mirror finish platinum. So honestly, today could not get much better.
That mirror finish platinum still makes me twitch. The icon, though, does not necessarily me. I refer to that icon as Matt and Oswald because it looks more like Pat and Oswald than it looks like me, but I get it. We're also joined by Craig. Craig, how are you today?
I am doing well. I also have a very beautiful, shiny Death Ray mirror card and just got my credit from said card. Oh, wow, the bottle's invisible. But, oh, there we go. A Lululemon water bottle I'm sipping out of from my credit, along with some travel pouches. So, yeah, I'm doing fantastic.
Once again, I fully appreciate that Zoom just decides to Greek out these products until they pay us.
But thank you, Zoom.
Absolutely. Craig, a nice new mic, I see.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Sounds good. Looks good.
Hopefully, people will stop complaining about my crunchy voice, and now they can hear the truly nails on a chalkboard that is me.
Once again, as I said, if any complaints, keep them to yourself. We're good. No, we need the engagement. So keep on commenting. And finally, last but not least, we are joined by Lonnie from the Call Me Lonnie YouTube channel. Lonnie, how are you today, aside from deciding that going all in on all inclusive is the way to go?
I didn't say go all in on all inclusive. I just said put it on your radar. But unlike my other co-host with a platinum card that got their mirror finish, for anyone out there that got yours already, y'all can kiss my left booty cheek because I am mad that mine hasn't showed up yet. And that is a true hater statement right there. Love you, but I'm going to be a hater because mine isn't here yet. That's all I got.
Just so you know, the right booty cheek is on OnlyFans only.
I've already rented that one out. So I would have to break someone's lease for the right booty cheek. So
we don't have money for a lease breaking right now. Not in this economy.
There's some vacancy back there though. For all y'all that got mirror finish. Got plenty of room for y'all on the left side.
This might be the earliest we've broken Matt in the podcast history.
Oh.
Okay. So that happened. You know what? You could just be on team don't bother with the platinum because you think the new mirror finish is ostentatious and silly. But no, we went there. All right. That's fine.
Look, we all know it doesn't matter what finish you have. You're not putting it in your wallet. It's a digital card. No. It's a digital card no matter how you use it.
Well,
I would say this is one of the few cards that looks better in physical form than digital form.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
Now, I've seen the videos and the pictures and all that other stuff. It's a great looking card. And I think it would be fun to have, even if it's just, hey, it's fun to have it for whatever. If it just sits in the sock drawer, just be like, hey, you can pull it out every now and then, unless you're on a trip where you're actually going to use the thing. But yeah, mine just hasn't shown up yet. And everyone is like, oh, it was going to show up on October 3rd, and they already got theirs. And I'm just sitting here. I don't even got my tracking number. So once again, booty cheek, left side, full vacancy.
Title of this episode I was hoping for was going to be ostentatious and silly, but no, it's going to end up being a whole left booty cheek, isn't it?
You know what? Right now I have ostentatious and silly. We'll see how the night goes.
It's going to be one of those nights. If I was punchy last week, it feels like Lonnie's the punchy one today.
I saw the punch I got. Just wanted to know why I'm getting singled out here. That's all.
Again, you could just rejoin team, don't have the card. And now it's super valuable. Don't worry about it. All right. With that out of the way, so we're going to jump into topics, and we'll jump to RJ, your topic this week.
So we throw around the words want and need a lot, but most, if not everything we talk about is really a want. Like, you don't technically need a credit card. And now we can make jokes of, I make jokes of if I get on a plane, I need a first class ticket, right? We make those jokes, but I can I will not actually have a heart attack if I sit in economy. I will maybe break out in hives from the stress, but I'm not going to actually die, right? So my example to everybody was like, I like the platinum. It makes sense for me. I want it. Therefore, I have it, right? Like it checks all the boxes, but it's not a need. I don't need the platinum. So how do you guys walk the line between want and need? Does it matter to you if it is a want? Does it therefore become a need? Sort of, how do you thread that particular needle? Matt, we never go to you first, really. I am going to go to you first tonight.
So how do I thread that needle? I am not a very needs-based, I don't take a needs-based approach to it. If I want to access a lounge, yes, there are cards in which accessing a lounge would be significantly easier than not. But if I absolutely had to, and I didn't want to carry a Sapphire Reserve, and I didn't want to carry the American Express Platinum, and I didn't want to carry the Venture X or any of the other cards that come with Priority Pass, I can just buy Priority Pass. You can buy Priority Pass, and you can extend yourself the ability to just buy Priority Pass, because you can buy the one that comes with Restaurant Access. If Restaurant Access is the thing you need, or the thing that makes your life easier on travel day, that is the travel day accelerator for you. It's not the word I'm looking for. Enhancement for you. Just buy straight up Priority Pass. You can do it. It's about $470 a year, which is less than any, okay, not the Venture X, but it's lower than the Citi, Chase, and Amex cards.
Don't buy it. You're not going to use it. We get it for free on 12 different cards, and none of us actually use it. So don't even buy it.
There's also that. But if that is if you categorize that as a thing that you absolutely have to have for whatever reason, buying it might be straight up better. Now, should you? That's entirely up to you. That is your money. I'm not here to tell you what to do with it. I don't feel like I need these things. If I'm coming to a point where, the only reason why I need a card is the welcome offer, and it's going to get me into a lounge. Matt, how often are you traveling? 3 or 4 times a year? Really, you need a lounge every single time you travel? Probably not. But the thing that I do need to make my life better on travel day is pre-check and global entry. More specifically, pre-check. Now, you don't have to take off your shoes, but still, pre-check is better. And if you can do pre-check, do pre-check. And if you're doing Clear Plus and pre-check and you're adding those two together, that can also be pretty good. But I don't need Clear, so I need pre-check. But you can get pre-check all sorts of ways, and it's only $85. It comes on a whole bunch of cards, yes, and it comes on a whole bunch of cards that have lower than $500 annual fees. So you don't need a $500 card to get pre-check. But yeah, we don't need any of these cards. Where do I draw the line? It's when for me, I only want one particular premium travel card at any given time. It doesn't make sense to me right now to carry more than either a Sapphire Reserve or a Platinum or a Strata Elite, unless Wells Fargo absolutely knocks it out of the park with their rumored Beyond card. I don't see myself going in and dual carrying an autograph Beyond and a Sapphire Reserve yet. I'll reserve judgment on that one. I definitely don't need a JetBlue Premier card because no. Maybe if they had given an ounce of thought to that card, I could need it, but no, it's stupid. So I just like to keep things relatively cheap at the moment. I pay the annual fees that I pay, but I pay considerably less in annual fees than any other host of this show. I'm still in 3 digits. Everyone else is in 4.
You can do that.
For
Easily.
now.
When the Sapphire Reserve goes to $1,000, yes, I'm going to break 4 pretty easily.
I still think you're going to end up with a Sapphire Preferred, and I'm just going to have to make a compilation of the Sapphire Preferred videos you've done over the years.
If they make it worthwhile, if they change the card, if the Sapphire Preferred that I get is not the Sapphire Preferred that I harangued and harassed and beat down, is it the same Sapphire Preferred?
Yes, for the purposes of the video I'm going to make.
I realized I was
Okay.
muted, but yes, 100% yes.
Yeah. No, I live in the land of want for now. If I ever am telling myself I need a card, I'm probably just jumping after the welcome offer, and I'm living my life at the beginning of jumping into points and miles. And now that I've been in the game on points and miles for a little while, there's no card you need. You want a welcome offer. If you want it and you can make it happen, go get it. But you do not need a welcome offer. And you don't need to finagle your way into trying to get a welcome offer. Because the banks, they wise up to it. And what you could do 2 years ago is not what you can do now.
Very true. Lonnie, you and I are fans of the travel day. I think wanting things is enough. I don't think we have to need them in order for them to be valid or appropriate. I want a nice travel day, therefore I need it. Are you in that, like, how do you walk that need want line?
Yeah, that's a great question. When it comes to wants, it's usually something like another pair of shoes or a backpack that I don't need. But I'm like, I really like it and I can use it for XYZ. But when it comes to the credit cards, the need want, I don't really have a lot of want when it comes to a credit card. Everything has a purpose in my wallet. For some way, shape, form, I got it for a reason, and I don't have anything that does not provide a value in any way, shape, or form. We've talked about this before. People have asked a million times, like, oh, how come you don't get a Citi card or a Capital One? I'm like, it doesn't provide me any value. What am I going to do with it once I have it? And so I don't really care. If you want to put stuff into want, like when Delta did that reserve card, that black one with the airplane on it, like what was it last year? That would fall into a want. Did I get it? No. I'm not just going to get it for the sake of getting it, because now what I do is like a dog chasing a car. What do I do after I catch the thing? I don't know what I'm going to do with it now, but I got it. And now I have to go out of my way to actually use it, is the point. So for me, I wouldn't necessarily call it a need. It's, can I use it organically? And organically is a very key word for me. It's not just can I use it, it's can I use it naturally and organically. Because the way that I look at my annual fees and my cards, yes, I pay a high amount in annual fees. As Matt mentioned, I'm in the 4 digits. My annual fees have a comma in it. I look at it as prepaying. I look at it as value I'm going to get a better deal on for stuff I'm going to prepay for what I'm going to use anyway. I see my credit cards as just a tool to like cover purchases in which I was going to make those purchases anyway, but now I'm just going to put it on the credit card because I'm going to get a better value once I do that. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. The reason why I say that is because so many people calculate value. We can use effective annual fee if you want, but they only look at like the credits. And the way that I see credits, are they assisting me anyway? Once again, going back to my organic purchases. Now, as I've said this a million times before, I don't really like effective annual fee. I don't really calculate it that way. I understand why some people do, but then you'll hear certain folks like, oh, I'm going to value the global entry credit as $25. I would have bought global entry anyway, so I'm going to value, to me, that's worth it. I know you're not a fan of Clear. I'm a fan of Clear. I literally paid out of pocket for Clear. So to prepay an annual fee for a credit card that covers my Clear is something I would pay for organically. It provided me value there. Now, to go a little bit deeper, I'm going to use a little bit of the Chase CSR and the Amex stuff because they're hot off the press still as we're hitting this Q4 of 2025. When I look at some of these credits that were recently added or altered, like Disney Plus and Hulu, I already mentioned I got a toddler. Even with the whole Jimmy Fallon thing, they're like, oh, boycott Disney. You boycott Disney. Not in this house. Someone needs pupstruction.
Dude,
you boycott Disney.
I'm with you in spirit.
Peloton. Chase already had a Peloton thing, but now you actually get $10 a month off of the subscription. I'm already paying for Peloton organically. It's assisting me there. I already mentioned Clear. I know Lululemon is a hot button for the Amex Platinum. Y'all can go back to past videos and collaboration videos. I talk about my Lulu buying off the sale rack. I'm not afraid to admit it. I spend money at Lululemon. Guess what? Now I'm prepaying for getting that money back. Food. Can we just get to food? So like Marriott Bonvoy, you're prepaying $300 in food that you're gonna buy food anyway. We all eat food. There ain't one of y'all out there that ain't eating food. You know what I mean? In some way, shape, or form, some type of sustenance that you can pay for. So this is stuff I was going to spend organically. And this is where I look at value. Now, am I going to hit 100% on every single card? No, but that's also, you go buy a car, are you going to get 100% value when you're done with it? Are you going to sell the car for the same price you bought it at? No. So I understand. I'm going to get something out. I'm not going to hit 100%. So even though I might pay a couple $1,000s in annual fees, I was going to pay a couple $1,000s anyway. But without the cards, I probably would have paid more, is what I'm saying, for the exact same things I would have bought anyway. When it comes to actual travel, I got a couple of different cards that I can use for United Travel Bank. That's a win. I like my room with a room in it. I'm bougie. So the hotels, that type of stuff, that's a win. That's stuff I would have paid for a higher cost room for anyway. And now I can pay for a lower cost room and end up in a higher cost room, just like I did on a recent trip like a couple of weeks ago. Literally booked studio in the basement overlooking the parking lot, where the garbage cans are in the back alley. Ended up in the suite with the nice view because I stacked my perks, if you will. Bag fees, I've talked about that with my United card. I'm going to pay bag fees. But why am I going to pay $35 or $50 a bag when I can get a card that covers that for me? And with the amount of I travel, I'm definitely getting way more value than that back. That's just, we're not talking about one trip. We're talking about each way to destination, back from destination, sometimes in between locations in those destinations. All those bag fees are waived. And seat upgrades. Craig brought up the Economy Plus seats with United earlier. Like, to get that for free, not having to pay for it. Matter of fact, get it for everyone. You flying with me? Get it for 8 people? these are things that we would have, like I said, at least for myself, my wife, and my son, these are organic. Maybe not the rest of y'all unless we're all on the same itinerary. Sorry, Craig, RJ, and Matt. But we're all flying together. You ain't on my itinerary. I'm not paying for your upgrade, your free upgrade. But you see what I'm saying there. And so that's just the way that I look at it. And then for everything else, it's just an enhancement for what I was going to spend organically. So I'm going to go back to what we mentioned earlier, Hilton Aspire, get 7X Hilton points on rental cars. I was going to rent a car anyway. So I might, instead of just paying cash or using the debit card, I can actually get enhanced amount of points for the exact same amount of money. If not a discount, because other cars give me status at those rental car companies. You see what's happening there. And also, we can't talk about food without talking about grocery. Where I'm going to grocery store. We're all going to a grocery store at some point. And so why should I just go one for one, dollar for dollar, when I can get at least 3% back, 4% back, 4 points per dollar, 5 points per dollar, get something back? And I won't necessarily call it a need, but it's like, how can I use it organically? But there are no wants in my wallet. I have nothing that I just got because I wanted it. Everything has a purpose.
I like it. I like it a lot. Craig, how do you circle the square on want, need, the relationship between those two? Did I need the green card? No. Do I want it because it makes a lot of things just easier on me? Yes. Like, how do you
Yeah.
circle things like that?
No, absolutely. So I think so I'll say this. I think I've been the most vocal in the Discord as well as on this podcast and other media sources in saying, you don't need that. And part of that for me stems because I have a similar philosophy with Lonnie where I don't have anything in my wallet that I don't use on a regular basis or that I don't have from a this serves a purpose standpoint. And a fun fact, I grew up, as the youth would say, po, right? So when I think about, despite having the ability to spend 40 grand on groceries now and having disposable income, I still come at things with a scarcity mindset and look at it to be the most egalitarian of how can I have the most amount of benefits and perks for the least amount of money spent. And although it took some deprogramming to say it's just money, I will get more money, I still have some very much, oh man, do I have enough money in my mind? And some of that plays into how I view other things. When I say, oh yeah, people don't need a platinum, I was doing close to 100 trips a year for work or business, either business or personal combined. And we were having this conversation in Discord to say it's no longer a want when I need a shower to get the funk of the day off of me and I can't go back to my hotel room because checkout, even late checkout, was at 4 p.m. My flight's at 9 and the business meeting didn't wrap up until 6, but I just got to the Centurion Lounge and they have a shower for me. It's part of a commute. It's part of ensuring that my physical form is clean and I have food in my belly that's cheaper than going to an airport lounge because my per diem's already burned out for the day. I have shifted and softened somewhat to say, I get it, right? Everyone's not like me. I realize I'm on the far side of things where it says, like, hey, you don't need that, right? Like, I'm the old man yelling at the sky. And I realize that. And I think it is important to say, what is the luxury that you require for yourself's comfort, right? And that's where I'm going at it from the standpoint of giving advice of saying, what is the bare minimum thing that you need to be comfortable during your travel day or during your travels, right? And if it is, I need a lounge or I want a lounge because it makes me comfortable, I say go for it. For me personally, I was at one point traveling so much that it made sense to have a platinum, a CSR, and an AA exec card all at the same time because I don't want to wait more than 5 or 10 minutes to get into a lounge because I want to get food because I'm tired, because I just wrapped up a work call, or because My kid is yelling and I want a clean space to change his diaper. We're doing potty training right now, and I am tired of
It's the
being
worst.
handed. He gets that I'm not supposed to pee on the floor. He gets that I'm not supposed to pee in diapers, but I've been handed bowls of piss, and it is just fantastic. Daddy,
I
pee.
cannot name this episode Bowls of Piss, but I'm really tempted to.
Get them on the real toilet as quickly as you can.
Dude.
Disavow
Dude.
them of the concept of peeing and the other thing not in the real potty as soon as you can. Get them
You know
off
what's
that
so funny?
toilet.
Dude, that
And
is a whole different level of potty training you got right there.
you know what's so crazy is that this man went into. So, fun fact, my kid is strong enough that he can rip off the child lock off a cabinet. But he ripped the child lock off, went, grabbed the bowl, peed in the bowl, brought me the bowl. And I was like, dude, this was so many extra steps. I feel like this was personal.
It probably was.
Like,
It probably was.
is this because I turned off Bluey? If so, I'm sorry. I won't do that again. But back to this weird tangent. Yeah, I have softened when I give advice because I realize that other people aren't like me. People aren't going to stress out about, do I need lounge access everywhere? No. I would love to be like Matt and get my card set up back down to triple digits. I doubt it happens because I still want my 4 p.m. checkout at Bond Boy because although you won't get my points until I have a mass of them, I'm going to spend some cash there. So,
The day is coming where you're going to pay for guaranteed 4 p.m. checkout at Marriott much sooner than you expect, because I have a feeling that Hilton is going to make a lot of money doing that.
and that is the day they can kiss. I don't really quite have a left or right butt cheek, but they can kiss the long crack that's on my back. I will turn myself into a Hyatt man or a damn I prefer hotels something. FHR. I am not paying you for 4 p.m. checkout.
This is a very below the belt podcast tonight.
Yeah. Actually, my butt crack's like actually right here.
I
Way
don't.
up.
It's
way up there, Morty. It's way up there, Morty.
None of this is
Okay,
getting cut.
I'm done.
None of it's
I'm
getting
done.
cut. It's all staying in. All of it.
RJ said, I'm sick of you people.
It's all staying in. You all can see
RJ
what
just
I
doesn't
deal
wanna
with
edit.
every week. No. It's back at the ranch, to quote my mother. I
Meanwhile,
appreciate I appreciate it. Because I do. Here's the thing. If you want it, you can afford it, and you have a tangential reason for it. As I say, I am not your mother, your wife, your girlfriend, or your daughter. It's up to you, buddy. So ultimately, it's your choice. But I do think how we talk about need and want sometimes is interesting. Matt, I turn the floor back over to you, sir.
and if you're ever somebody who says you absolutely need this card, you need to reevaluate how you're approaching any of. You can like cards. No problem with you liking cards. But anyway, Craig, your topic this week.
So my topic is actually not the butt crack that is in between my shoulders. It is something a little bit more positive. We are going to talk about some of the positivity in the credit card world. We oftentimes talk about the negativity, the devaluations, the I don't like this update. But the question I'm posing to my co-hosts here, what are some things that you are just pleasantly happy with right now within the credit card game? And it can be points earnings, it could be a transfer partner, it could just be, hey, I enjoy getting on this podcast once a week and talking to my friends, or I enjoy being in the Discord. Just what are some things that you were genuinely happy about within the Points and Miles community or broader game? I'm going to start with Lonnie.
Aw, thanks. If we want to go nitty gritty down to the actual banks, I'm not mad at Amex and their platinum refresh. Yes, it's high. $8.95 is high. Not gonna deny that. But I am actually happy with how they did it, the professionalism when they did it, the absolute twist the knife that they gave to how they responded, if you will, to Chase. Chase did it to themselves, but yeah, I'm happy with that because, to be completely honest, at $695, the Amex Platinum, going back to RJ's question of the needs and using it organically, was almost like a push to get the $695. And I'm not saying that after credits and everything, but it's also, as you had mentioned, like I had to ensure that I was taking multiple trips to get that and extra value. I can sit on the couch and get $895 after this refresh. I don't. Of course, I'm still going to take at least one trip on it, but I'm just saying they did a really good. I felt heard. I felt seen with the changes that they made. I'm like, that one relates to me. That relates to me. Oh, man, are they outside? Are they looking through my window? That one relates to me too. And I'm like, this is actually a win for me. Where we all know before the refresh, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to keep one, keep the other, keep both. I'm not getting rid of the platinum. And it ain't about mirror finish that ain't showed up yet, left booty cheek, but it's actually a high value card that makes total sense, where $895 is the discount for me. So I'm very happy with that. The other aspect of it is I would have to say, my personal members only community. I love them, man. They're great. They are interactive. They show up. Like, I get comments more. So there's a finite amount of members that I have, but I'll get almost double the views, which is like a lot of these members are watching the video more than once, which makes it, you can't really see that on public. You don't know who's watching what. So unless you leave a comment, I don't know you were there type of scenario. But when I have X amount of members, but I got X times 2 amount of views, I'm like, oh, y'all rewound that. Y'all had to go back and see that. And you can't just share it. You can't just share it to somebody that's not a member. They got to become a member. Maybe that's how I'm getting the extra members and things like that. But that is a validation for me to say the stuff that I talk about actually matters. That to someone, it actually matters, to a subset of people. And to see more people join from that, especially ones that actually do the survey to, oh, I joined because I wanted to see this particular video, even provides more analytical data and making sure that I can provide the best content that I can. Granted, fatherhood and professional life have to take a priority over YouTube, so I haven't been able to put out as many videos as I previously did before I left my old company. But guess what? At least I know I can put out as those types of videos that are the ones that of information of what people are looking for specifically. Not clickbait. There's no, let me tell you about the Amex Platinum Refresh video on my channel right now. You know me, I'm going to save that for 90 days. When no one else wants to talk about it, I'm like, all right, I'll finally talk about it. Those types of things. But yeah, that actually makes me happy because I got into this game to provide value to others. I mentioned it before, is that I used to sit on the couch and like yell at the TV like it's my favorite football team losing on a Sunday afternoon of, why are y'all saying this? Don't do that. You don't have to go do this. And what I realized is people weren't talking about credit cards and travel the way that I personally use credit cards and travel. And that was my inspiration to be like, you know what? I've sat back and said, I should do this long enough. I finally went and hit the record button. I went out and did it, and it resonated well. So now after, oh yeah, officially 2 years, 2 years on YouTube now. I'm still here for now. For now, we're going to leave that one in parentheses and a ... and ellipses. But I'm still here for now. And I found enjoyment out of it. And like I said, the enjoyment comes from the interaction from not just like my members only community, but the community of people that watch this show, people that are in the Discord, all that stuff, just to have the conversation, the adult conversations, if you will, the positive impact, and taking like I've mentioned this before. If I say one thing and then you take it and spin it in a way that works for you, and then you share that with me, that makes me completely happy. I don't care if you don't fly United. I honestly don't. I don't care if you don't stay at FHR. I honestly don't. But if you're like, yo, I didn't want a platinum card, but I went and got this other card, and I did what you had said about XYZ, win. And that's what makes me the most happy.
So I will say I am 100% one of those people that rewatches that video. So at least 3 of them every time is me. Just to be clear.
I'm not going to plug myself, but for y'all that aren't members, the stuff you thought I put travel hack alerts in my actual public videos, I go into detail behind the paywall. I really start telling you, like, as Matt knows, the legit and the maybe not so legit hacks of my personal strategy behind the paywall.
I'll also say this, and this is something that you brought up, and I'm going to give a shout out to another co-host as well as you and Matt and someone who's not a co-host, but you should also follow, Chad Money Minutes. You're the reason that I don't particularly find myself compelled to make YouTube videos, because to the point that you made, I see a lot of what travel and that I do through those videos, right? And so there's not a niche or a space that I find myself needing to fill there. And so if I ever am to make a YouTube channel, it's probably not points and miles. It's probably just other random hobbies that I do. But when I talk about or think about like the niche of how do I travel? What do you mean you don't pay cash for hotels ever? Are you only going to hotels like 10 days a year? And then you realize that a lot of the points and the points of miles community has changed quite a bit, at least the YouTube side of things in the last 2 years. Because when I first started watching, maybe like 3.5 years ago, it was a lot of single young men talking about Hyatt being the only way to possibly get value out of the points and miles community. And I'm like,
Yes.
you are
And
20
still
years
no.
old and you get on a road trip. I have a kid, a wife, and I don't travel only to certain cities. So yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I should enhance or create a sub channel, separate channel, secondary, if you will, on the family dynamic of points, miles, and travel. Because a lot of y'all might not know this, but I started my YouTube channel after my son was already born. So he was already born, but I was talking about starting a channel literally for over a year. Oh man, I should start a YouTube channel. Oh man, I should start a YouTube channel. And it took a year for me to actually just be like, for someone to be like, look, shit or get off the pot. Either do it or don't, but stop talking. Just stop talking to me about it. And I'm like, all right, I'll do it. And so I finally did it. But Craig, I think you are one of the best people to fill the niche of, all right, y'all are solo and maybe couples traveling. A lot of y'all ain't even married, if you will. Good majority of us out there are not, unlike myself and Chad and yourself, that is. The family dynamic. And I think there's a market out there to be like, yeah, y'all buying 2 seats. We're buying 4. I'm buying 3. That's a transition I still haven't gotten over yet. We finally stopped checking the stroller. We're out of stroller.
Yeah.
But there's a car seat, there's a stroller, there's how you do the lift, there's what rental car to get, what kind of which rental car company. They're like, it changes everything once you start traveling as a family. And I went from infant to young. I'm now in toddler. Even Matt, your kid's older than ours. So it's like it just keeps changing. And I don't think there's anyone out there talking about family travel. So thank you for
I'm gonna
that.
be so honest. I miss infant travel so much when they could when the worst thing that you could possibly do is scream a little bit. Oh, I can figure that out. My
Oh yeah.
God, being two with some wrinkles in your brain,
Yeah, for the
it's
first
so
2 years,
painful.
I didn't need a buy a seat. You can just infant and lap do the middle seat hack on the airplane, which worked like 85% of the time. You know what I mean? Once again, join my members only channel. You want to know what the middle seat hack is, because that's where I'm putting it so that everyone can't do it, but a small subset of people can. But then, oh, now he's two. You had to buy the seat. So I went instantly to paying for three, and how you prepare for that. Going back to RJ's last question, the needs and wants and the credit card dynamic of you. I spent a really long part of my life only buying two seats from my girlfriend, fiance, now wife, mother of my child, in that order. Kid.
And only for them to just be in your lap for 70% of the flight.
Yeah.
Again, when solo flights were 50,000 points, it was 100,000 points round trip. Now you've added a partner, that's 200,000 points round trip. Now you've added a third human being that you happen to take part in creating in some form or fashion. Yeah. Now what used to be 100,000 point trip is a 300,000 point trip for you. And you have
Oh
to
yeah.
account for those 300,000 points.
You
I've
remember what I
never
was
been
saying?
happier to be single and without children in my life than this conversation.
You remember what I was saying earlier about the whole sub thing, or just going to go buy points and being simple? All of this, put it all in a bucket, mix it up, maybe pour a little bit in of your favorite drink. For me, I'm going to squeeze a little bit of lime up in there, because you'll just be like, yo, screw these credit cards. I'll just buy the points. I'll just go ahead and just buy all the points I need. Screw the credit card. It's cheaper and it gets me to the destination I'm trying to get to. And the destination is not the physical destination, it's just booking the flipping trip. Oh, I'm fine booking a deluxe studio with 2 queen beds. Nah, no, you're not. Because once he starts running around, jumping on and off things, like, RJ, this is why I need a room with a room in it. when
You
when they
stay
need
out
a
there.
when they need a nap and you have a studio, and so now you're stuck in the studio with headphones in your ears and your phone on the dimmest brightness possible because they gotta sleep, and you're stuck in there like it's a jail cell because there's nowhere for you to go. You need a room with a room in it, because then you can just throw them in the room, close the door, and now you have a whole other part of the hotel room. So I'm not being bougie for the sake of being bougie. I'm being bougie with a purpose and my sanity. And at the same time, we're going to bring it back around to bougie, because then I also just want the room with the room.
Fair enough. Thank you,
Yup.
Lonnie.
And last but not least, that
Oh.
those hotel credits from FHR come in clutch when you have a kid. You land, you order chicken tenders that cost $60 on room service. I'm being obviously facetious here.
Not that facetious, though.
Not facetious.
But once again, we're going to use the word convenience and simple. So, Craig, you should do the family travel channel, your family credit card channel.
You know what? I will hold myself to that. Also, just going to say this now. The first video will be, how much can a plate of fruit truly cost that a child will only eat 3 bites of?
And they cut that fruit 3 days ago. You know what, RJ? I did it. I went on the tangent. You see, I almost made it the entire episode.
This is honestly a great episode. No notes. None.
RJ, you don't understand. I don't understand how much fruit he eats. Sometimes he eats 30 apples. Sometimes he takes a bite of an apple and walks away. Sometimes he wants grapes. And then sometimes I'm stepping on little dead mushy grapes. I'm just so tired of it. Why won't you tell me how much fruit you want to eat?
You need to eat healthy, but you also need to eat. So chicken tenders, fries, okay? Screw it, because I need you to eat. I can't take the risk. I can't flip the coin tonight.
Ugh. Okay, I'm done. RJ.
All right, I'm going to continue tangenting with my mic on mute. So,
RJ, what is something that you are happy with, that you can say I am joyous of in the credit card points and miles community?
I forgot that was a question.
American Express
I
does
love it.
soft pulls. That look, In a world where Capital One pulls all three every time, and Chase pulls multiple things, and Citi pulls things, and US Bank pulls things even when you're just doing a pre-check to see if they'll even consider you, I could apply for anything with Amex right now. I could apply for 7 credit cards with Amex, and it's not gonna hit my hard score at all. Thank you, Amex. From the bottom of my cold, dead heart. Thank you. I appreciate that. No, seriously, that is great. Like they know your numbers by the soft score. It's fine. They know if you're paying your bills or not. Amex has all of that data. It's fine. So that is a joy. If it's a credit card specific thing, to me that is a joy. I also like to say something Lonnie did, like I don't have the solo community, but I do have the stack your points community. And I will say every day is an adventure moderating that community. Every day, you never know what you're going to get. It's the box of chocolates from Forrest Gump, but I would rather not be anywhere else. I truly do enjoy it. The conversations are great, sometimes passionate, sometimes the rabbit holes are gone down there too. But for the most part, everybody behaves themselves, myself included. And we have really built something that I think is important. People having a space to have conversations, people having a space to learn, people having a space to soundboard their ideas, I think is important. Because this hobby can be boring without it, right? If you never talk to anybody about this stuff and it's just you and your spreadsheets, at a certain point, you're going to be in your underwear at 2 in the morning just looking at credit card spreadsheets of cents per point. And that's a dark place to be. At least if you're in the Discord sharing them with other people, at least you got something. So the community truly is great. And then this is going to be sappy, but my co-hosts, like I genuinely enjoy getting on here at Monday into Tuesday every week and talking to all of you and these side conversations and the pre-show and the random crap that Matt and I will sometimes talk about afterwards because we are the extreme night owls of the podcast. And Matt, what do you think FDR would do if he was born in the 70s and game out what that would look like? We have done that before. It was fascinating. So the things that just the conversations and the people, ultimately that is my favorite part of this community. More than the 900,000 Hilton points I have or however many MR points or however many trips I've done. Like that part is important and cool and it makes me a better person most of the time.
I love to see it. I genuinely do. I am truly, I will say this, am I tired every Tuesday morning, especially now? Actually, even better, I don't have that boss anymore because I'm that person's boss now. So I don't have that random Tuesday one-on-one that I need to be up for at 9 o'clock in the morning. But am I tired every Tuesday? Yeah. But do I love talking to you all and like just having this time on Monday night? Absolutely. And I appreciate the three of you all bringing me on to help provide some, I don't know if it's value, but comical relief.
It's value.
I'm not that funny, but neither here nor there. But yeah, I've been loved every minute of this. And one thing I will say, RJ, that you brought up, and I think it's even more important than just the relationships and bonds we've forged. God, those soft pulls are so nice because TransUnion and Equifax are beat to hell right now for me.
It's
It is a rough
amazing
life.
how simple it is, but how important it can be.
I don't have a single hard pull on my Equifax in the last 3 years. TransUnion and what is the other one?
Experian.
Experian. They are just taking it across the chin every single time. But yeah, So thank you, RJ. I appreciate that. And I am glad that you are our moderator, EP, and all voice of all things reason for Stack Your Points Discord and podcast. Matt, a man that I owe a hat, and also a woman that I owe a box of fragrance to. I'm behind on things. Shipping. People are pissing in bowls. I'm sorry. I promise you I will get you things.
I was gonna ask, but I know things have been a little hectic, so I'm just gonna leave it be. So I'm happy about in the credit card world, or just some positive stuff in the credit card world. One, companies are still making changes for good or for bad. Like for me, change is helpful just because content. But like Capital One has recently added 3 new transfer partners. Like who had that on their bingo card? We're seeing different avenues of rewards being a possibility and different ways to inevitably, potentially, depending on how you feel about the longevity of some of these companies, be able to stack your points. Like Rove came out this year. You've seen Mesa come out of the gate with mortgage points, points on mortgage. You've seen Built do the things that they're doing, however positive or negative those are going to be. The community that we're building, continuing to build, we're just under 200 members in our Discord. We have 600 subscribers. We have, 70 members on the channel? Somewhere around there. So we are building what I think is a nice and interesting and varied community. Discord can be a lot sometimes, depending on what's happening on any given day. It's much more active during the work week. At least we occasionally take time away from it on the weekends. I take time away from it on the weekends. I am hardly in there on the weekends. I just clear the unreads and don't really pay too much attention to it. But the show has been a pretty big positive overall. I think we're adding value where we can. It's pretty interesting seeing the show mentioned on Reddit from time to time. That's always a good one. And I I think changes in the community, whether if there's negative changes, that's not great, but change forces us to rethink things. And the more we can rethink, reassess, and re-strategize, because the banks are adjusting and we need to adjust, that's always a positive because stagnation's never good.
No, absolutely. And I need to be better. It's either feast or famine with me, depending on what the workday looks like. So either I'm in there or I am a ghost in the wind for the Discord. But I completely agree with you. I love that we are still getting change because I think once we get to where the EU is with credit cards, it's going to get real boring real fast. But with that, I'm just going to say the one thing that I'm most happy about within the credit card points and miles community right now is the Stack Your Points Discord. I know that's going to sound cheesy, but it is just nice to be able to have a conversation with folks that are of a similar mindset. And when I say similar mindset, not that we are always all in agreement, but that we can have a civil discourse about points and miles and it not devolve into something that is akin to a slight grift all the way to a full grift, but who knows? And so it truly is my points and miles happy place. And also, despite Hilton devaluing at the absolute highest level, I'm still actually pretty happy with Hilton. I'm going to throw that curveball in there and say it's to Lonnie's point. Sometimes it is just easier to buy points and worry about it later. And I think that is just a positive thing. Whereas with Bonvoy, man, it's hit or miss. You never know what you're going to get. But Hilton, I can reliably say pretty much throughout the entire year, I know what I'm going to get. I know when I can get them, and I can plan around those Hilton sales. Do I need more of them? Sure, but it's reliable. Same thing with IHG. So I think that's my happy spot. And I'm going to pass things back to our MC, Matt.
Thank you, sir. When you're doing those point cells, just remember to do the 100% bonus. And if you're doing more than 100% bonus, do that 100 more than 100% bonus on your point cells and go through an extra cashback or extra points portal as well. Always make that stack. That is the easiest stack you can do. Top cashback is 2.52%, and Brackerton is a pretty solid 1.25. And then there's Rove and others. Sorry, someone used my Rove referral today, and I had gotten another 500 points, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, we'll jump to my topic. And for my topic this week, another podcast I watched over the weekend. This was the Miles to Go podcast. One of the co-hosts referred to the American Express Platinum as a $900 club membership fee. In no, pretty much those words, effectively saying the card was superfluous. Like the card itself is superfluous. Would you sign up for all the benefits of a premium travel card without actually getting or using the card? So would you use or do you use the Platinum card as effectively like a membership fee without actively using the card? And I'm not going to limit this just to the Platinum, right? You can get the Venture X, you can get the Strata Elite, you can get the Sapphire Reserve, you can get, those are the ones that come to mind, but the United Club Infinite card could be another one. The Advantage Executive World Elite MasterCard can be another one. Would you get the cards just as membership fees, not worry about anything else, and just go from there? Or do the cards play into it? And I'm going to turn to RJ to this one first.
So I actually use my Platinum. Like, if I have a big thing that I want to put on a place, I'll put it on my Platinum. Like, even for 1X. Because I don't actually have a personal card that's 2X. Like, travel, yes. I have the green. So I could put it on the green if it was travel related or dining related. But for a non-category, I have the Blue Business Plus. If I am at all concerned about it from a personal standpoint, then it's got to go on a personal card, and my Platinum has the strongest protections. So I will unabashedly use my Platinum. Because if I care more about the purchase than the points, it goes on the Platinum. Full stop. Because in the course of a year, I'm not losing that many points, and I much rather have the protections in certain circumstances. So there's that. I also use it anytime I book a flight, really. I'm using it for flights. So I get what they're saying, that the card is a secondary thing. I absolutely understand that. For me, it's not. I get why it is for most people. I just want to get that out of the way first. But if Amex offered an Amex subscription, would I be interested? Yes. I would hope it would be more customizable. So I think because it's tied to a credit card, there are certain things it has to keep, right? Everybody has to have the same options. But if it's a subscription, maybe there's a place where you can pick Hilton Diamond or Marriott Platinum or Titanium. Like, or you can get both for gold, right? Do things like that. Because then they can change the amount you're paying and it makes sense, right? Like, they can do things on a subscription basis where you can't necessarily do it with a credit card. So I would like to see that model more. We've talked about modular credit cards. This is an even easier system to make modular because it's not tied to a credit card. So there are less rules or different rules around it. But if I could do it from Amex and get the lounge access, the status, all of that, and some credits, and I don't even have to take all of the credits that I'm not going to use anyway, and maybe it's a little cheaper, yeah, sign me up. Still keeping the Platinum for the flights, though.
That's fair. I would certainly say that if American Express, if somebody did just like a straight up, like, here's our lifestyle travel subscription benefit package, and you can pick and choose from these things, and what you pay is what you get, or what you pick is what you get, and what you'll pay for, and it could vary. I would be far more interested in that than tying things to a specific card.
Before Built does this. Like, because this feels like what Built, like, I'm not even making a joke. Like, this feels like Built, like, what they want to do.
Let's see how 2.0 goes, because I have a feeling the 2.0 is going to be a lot. I don't have the warm fuzzies about 2.0, and I definitely don't have the warm fuzzies about Card 2.0. Card 2.0 is going to, I'm starting to worry about it being an unmitigated disaster.
Fair.
I don't have the best of feelings about Card 2.0. Program 2.0 could be interesting. So I'm still interested in Built, but the Built card I'm starting to worry about. But I do think that if Built came out with something like this, would be pretty intriguing. Amex would probably have a better play, because Centurion Lounge access would be a huge thing. How much are you willing to pay just for Centurion Lounge access? How much are you willing to pay to add in Hilton Diamond or Marriott Titanium or IHG Platinum or Diamond, or now like adding in leading hotels? That would be interesting. I would pay for a American Express subscription of some sort. I would even pay for a Chase style subscription. Whatever they would do there, they would fuck it up. But like, I would still be interested in it. If Wells Fargo wanted to put together a pack, like, I'd be interested in a subscription package from any of the big banks or any of the reward programs that is at least interesting and will make my travel and my experience better without having to add a card that sticks out like a sore thumb in my wallet. That is one of the interesting things about Founders Card, but like, Founders Card is more on the businessy type side. It's business, but that is $1,000, and I don't know that I want to go that $1,000, but I want someone else to take a crack at it. But I would definitely be interested in Amex doing something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Craig, your thoughts here?
So similar to RJ, I actually use my platinum. I like it. I think it's awesome. Not to rub salt in the wound for Lonnie, but oh my God, look how invisible it is. Oh, it's awesome. Oh, you
Can't
can
see
see
if you got a
Matt in
background
there.
on.
Oh yeah, you can see your face right there. Bam.
Ostentatious and silly.
Hold on, I gotta show you something.
But and you know what? I need to say this. I, this is probably about close to a year ago. I think it's when I first became a member on Lonnie's channel. I was going back and forth and saying, no, it's not a subscription. It's not a subscription. It's a subscription now. At this point, I, outside of throwing this in my wallet now just to have it in there because it looks cool, I'm not swiping the platinum. At best, I would use Apple Pay on it, but eh. But I'll say this. If I could buy Sapphire Lounge access for the year annually without having to have a CSR, and it was cheaper than holding the card, I'd do that. If I could pay $500 just to have Sapphire Lounge access for Philly, I'd do it. If I could pay just to have Centurion Lounge access, I would. And so I don't think that being a subscription service is necessarily bad, or viewing it as a subscription service, because for me, it's not necessarily about the points with these cards, especially now that I'm not traveling nearly as much. The platinum is not an earner for me. The last few years, I could say I did six-figure point earnings on the platinum. That is not going to happen next year. This year would, because I traveled most of the year, but next year, I might maybe break 60,000 points, 70,000 points, but that's a stretch. I think I look at it as it's a lifestyle subscription to a ecosystem that I want to use. and I will earn on other cards, and just so happens that the platinum's a part of that, or it just so happens that the AA executive card is a part of that. In reality, all I wasn't getting Admirals Club access with the AA card. I was trying to buy the ability to get 10x for AA hotels because that's mainly what I'm using to replace my Hilton stays with for now until I find something that's a better fit for it. But no, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, right? Like, I think it helps to justify the card in my mindset because if I'm willing to have the card purely just for the perks, that the extra points that I'm going to earn from spend, if I spend on it, it's just a cherry on top, right? So that's it for me. Think it's, I just don't think it's a bad thing. And I don't think it's a negative thing to say that a card is a subscription service or a lifestyle service. It's no different than if you were in Philadelphia and you got a subscription or a membership to the Fiddlers Club, right? I do it because I want to have access to other young professionals in the area and we do random cool stuff. There's no other value to it, but it's value to my life.
No, that definitely makes sense. Now, if American had a membership that like allowed you to earn LPs faster, or in addition to flying American all the time, it'll also give you Discover status at Hyatt and make your stays at some other non-Hyatt hotels better. I'm sure that would be something that would be of interest to you. And if Delta did the same thing with Hilton or something like that, like these would be options to make your life better.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'll say this, Matt, you'll probably be mad at me over the next few days because I've been running those numbers and it's not looking good for that gold card. And I hate to say it, but City is looking also alluring.
Look, if you want to deal with calling them when they flag literally you like looking at their webpage as fraud, you have fun with that.
I added the card to Apple Pay and I made my first purchase, which was I needed some skincare products. Ulta. Work is stressful as hell right now, so I have a breakout. But some good old Clinique. So we will see if I get flagged in the next 12 hours.
You look at
It's
your card wrong. You look at your card the wrong way with Citi. Citi's going to lock your card. They are a bank that seems allergic to taking money.
which is crazy because again, my first City card. I'm test driving this before I get into a CSP because I'll be darned if I give my wife a card and I say, "Hey, here's your gas, grocery, and dining card. Do what you want. You only need one in there," because my wife only keeps at most two cards in her wallet because she's just not going to deal with it. And I understand that. That's just where we are. If they lock that card up while she's trying to do stuff and I have to hear it, oh man, never again.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But we shall see.
Indeed. Lonnie, lifestyle subscription membership fee. You've also mentioned that the American Express Platinum is a bit of a lifestyle subscription. Would you just pay the subscription, not have to carry the card? And if United did something like that, would you be into it?
I do pay the subscription and I don't carry the card. So I'm already doing that.
All right.
If United did it, it depends on the capacity of how United did it. Am I paying, for example, if I could pay a price and just get 1K status, I would pay that price and just get 1K status. There's no real way to do that. Like, you can, just buy 2 Polaris international flights. You don't get the points if I button seat. Like, you have to actually take the flight. So you can't just buy it. There's a time component to it as well. But yeah, if United did that, I would 100% just be like, yeah, if I can just buy status, I would. Well, how is that any different than some of the reasons why I got some of these cards? I've mentioned I got my Aspire card. Why? Because I can just pay $550 and I instantly have diamond status. Just add water and I have diamond status. But we don't need to get in. Do I think is the platinum a subscription or membership? I've been pretty firm on that. Haven't really waffled on that. I got a video about it. I think I
Yep.
have 2 videos about it actually. But the other aspect of it is, as I was mentioning back in RJ's topic, I would actually pay for I'm actually organically and naturally paying for a lot of the perks and benefits anyway. Where even if we talk about travel, and not just me, almost all of us, if we go to a hotel, we get up to the counter and we hand over 1 credit card and our ID to check in, and we probably like whisper or hint, hey, y'all got any upgrades, right? We want the upgrade. And at times, and I know they'll do this in Vegas, like, oh yeah, we got an upgrade, we'll give you a deal, we'll just do it $200 a night. But on a 3-night trip, that's $600. Before the change, this was a $695 annual fee. That's basically the annual fee. I might as well just pay for the annual fee and book it through Amex and get that upgrade anyway, or even get a double upgrade, the upgrade on top of the upgrade, because I did it through Amex. So yeah, I would instantly pay for that anyway. And let's not forget, like, credits and the food itself. Food credits or the credits. Like, we all want to eat. I prefer not to eat powdered eggs. I don't think the Waldorf Astoria has powdered eggs. Someone's down there cracking them and scrambling them and cooking them on low heat with butter with a pinch of salt. Like, it is. We're not at the Hojo, is what I'm saying. And you don't have to walk across the street to a Denny's. Sorry for the folks that stay at hotels where you can walk across the street to a Denny's. I'm not coming at you. I'm just saying. But they're out there.
Slam, Lonnie?
I don't. I don't.
Boo.
When you can see into the kitchen and the dude that's cooking your breakfast is also smoking a cigarette, nah, I'm not trying to eat over there. I'm sorry.
It's
Waffle House is so good.
Exactly.
Waffle House is a different animal, Matt.
Yeah.
Waffle House.
You get dinner and a show.
Waffle House is not the same. But when it comes to some of the other perks, like lounge access, I've paid for our lounge access before. Sapphire lounges, which I've never stepped foot into before I got my Amex Platinum card, before I got my CSR that came with Priority Pass. I only had my Blue United Club card, my Blue United card that gave me 2 passes a year. So after those are gone, how do I know it was $59? Because I paid for it. And so now I get included lounge access. A couple more steps, as long as it's not in a far off terminal, it doesn't take more than 5 minutes to get there, then I'll walk. You know how I feel about that. But I'm already paying for lounge access. And then, as I had mentioned in Craig's question, like I said, this refresh with the Platinum card just spoke to my soul. They just were like, you know, what would make Lonnie happy? We don't want to lose him as a customer. What can we do? Like I said, they added credits, benefits, and perks for places I was already going to naturally, organically, and spending my money. 1, Lulu. Walmart, I might not live in a Walmart area, but when I go back home to the Midwest, once again, Craig, keep me honest, they're all over the place over there. So Walmart Plus comes in handy. It's waived on my card anyway, so I only need to use it. I don't need to use it at all to get benefit from value, but because I can order online. But that couple times a year when I'm back in the Midwest or in a Walmart area traveling, comes in handy. Saks, I actually shop at Saks usually once a year because I'm bougie. It's usually Black Friday. Or if I'm traveling back to Chicago or New York where they have a physical store, I like to go in there. I usually buy my high-end shoes from there. That's what I'm saying. The designer stuff, the stuff you can't get at Nike or at Outlet Mall. Aura, credit on Aura. Y'all, it's right here all the time. It's in my thumbnails. I can't hide that. So you can't even say, oh, I'm just jumping on the Aura bandwagon now. Go back to some of my older it's been there for 2 years. It's right here. I'm already a customer. And the entertainment credit. Not that I wasn't using it before, but now adding the extra $5 and adding YouTube TV, that's $83 a month. That's one of the reasons why I went and switched that old college student card to the blue business every day, because I took Disney Plus off. It's a $0 annual fee that gives you $7 off on Disney Plus a month. So I'm like, RJ, added value. I'm getting $84 for nothing. Added value. And so now I'm getting both of those credits across both of those cards for those types of subscriptions. So if your question is, would I pay for this anyway? I'm already paying for it. I can't explain it enough. It's just prepaying for stuff you're going to buy anyway. And a lot of this stuff is, yes, other subscriptions and things of that nature, but other parts are stuff in my travel day that I was going to pay for anyway. So yes, it is a subscription. It is a membership. I don't hold it in my wallet. I don't swipe it for practically anything except for some of these credits. And usually it's not even a physical swipe. It's online anyway. So it literally, you don't need to swipe it for anything. But yeah, I would already pay for this stuff. And so why not get a discount via the annual fee?
No,
I said all of that with my mic on mute.
That would be classic us. Just so classic us. No, that certainly makes sense. I do think of it as a membership fee. I think pushing some of the things like Resi and Aura and Lululemon, not necessarily brands that I shop with. So I'm not trying to convince myself to get the card in any way, shape, or form. The card is not for me. The card is for me in the same way that I am meant to be an archbishop somewhere. It's just never going to happen. Currently it's just not even remotely in the cards. And me going to seminary would be an interesting ride. But I do some of the perks of the card. I would pay for perks. I'm more than willing to pay for perks across my featured travel partners and things like that. If there was a way that I could have access to JetBlue lounges when JetBlue lounges open later this year and next year, and doesn't include a terrible credit card, I'd rather do that. I'd rather pay for that access. I would rather pay for some low-level statuses to make my life a little bit easier. So maybe the founder's card is something I look into, but I want something that's not like business oriented, even though, yes, I have a business. Yes, I can do this. And yes, my business is at a point where I can afford the founder's card, which is cool and not a place I thought that I would be when I started this channel. But I don't have to justify it as a business thing to myself. I'd much rather someone put together a personalized package as well. Maybe a small world is something to look into, but those small world options are like thousands of dollars, and I don't want to spend thousands necessarily.
Yeah, but the one thing that I would say is, it being a subscription or membership is not necessarily a bad thing. Do you? Whatever way you find value. The way I find value is different than the way RJ finds value, and it's completely fine. And our world keeps spinning, and we don't hate each other. We're not at war, and we're not calling each other's mamas bad names. But I would have liked to see them actually add a reason to use it. Change the bonus add a bonus category that actually would have mattered towards swipe. Now, it didn't have to be a dining. I understand Resi because they own it at the Resi credit thing, which is a absolutely great value. And because I have gold and platinum, actually makes me like, now it's actually worth it for me to go out of my way at least twice a year, because I get $150 off a meal, which is way better than just $50 off a meal. But like, I understand like gold already has 4, so don't do dining. You get 2 MR points per dollar or something like that. But find something. There's enough options out there. Even if you picked one of your partners, like we'll give you 2x at Aura, we'll give you 2x when you shop directly with Lulu. Something to make you actually need to use the card. I think dining, gas, grocery it's overcooked at the moment. So it didn't have to. What I'm saying is, it didn't have to be one of the big 3. but they could have done something outside of flights and Amex travel portal. Is what I'm saying.
Base 1.5 or bring back the kicker from the everyday preferred and the everyday card where swipe the card 30 times a month, get 1.5 base X, 1.5X base.
That would actually kill some other cards because now it's like, oh, I got to use this card so many times, or now I'm not going to use Y card so many times. But you know how I feel, and we talked about this before. I think they could have really put the nail in the coffin with Chase if they were like, we'll give you 1.5 in our travel portal.
Yeah. I don't know that it is an opportunity missed, but they had Chase already iced its own kicker, to use a football term. Chase already iced their own kicker, and you have an opportunity to just nail home a chip shot field goal to just end everything, and you decide to shank it, or you decide to go for it on fourth and 6, and you don't have to when the chip shot's right there. So I think Amex shanked or just decided not to go for an easy chip shot where they would just win everything.
But isn't that the goal technically in the financial game, is to get all the money? It's literally Monopoly. It's literally Monopoly.
They chose not to get all the money.
And if they were battling $8.95 versus $9.95, 1.5 with everything else, keep everything that they added and added 1.5, $9.95 would have been justifiable, and I still would not have batted an eye. If they said $9.95 as is without the 1.5, I'd be like, nah, that's too much. Now they're being greedy. But if they did everything that they just did last week, plus 1.5 in the travel portal minimum, if you have the platinum, that's worth $9.95 for me. I wouldn't have said nothing about it. I would have been, Chase, your days are now numbered.
Yeah.
They did not do that killer instinct move. Sorry.
Goddamn 5X direct with a hotel. I don't know why Amex is so difficult.
There were options. There were plays on the field. There were plays on the board. Like, they chose not to run up the score. They could have run up the score.
Companies seem hesitant to do that, though. Like, especially Chase and Amex against each other.
Oh, yeah. You also got to remember, it sounds like a joke, but these executives know each other. They were roommates in college. They play golf on the weekends. They send each other's kids birthday gifts. They know each other. And so it's not always about, can I destroy my competitor, but it's also, how can we not destroy the entire game at the same time? There has to be a tug of war, a push and a pull always happening. And right now the pendulum's going to swing towards Amex, but then who knows how it could be a couple of years and it's going to swing back towards Chase. And you just have to let it be. You just have to let it be what it be.
No, that definitely makes sense. And there is room for others to step into voids, and there is room for others to possibly become tertiary options, tertiary options, which is nothing but good things. But I think Amex pushing pedal to the metal here would have been good to kick Chase down and make Chase work harder.
But I also see it, to RJ's point, I actually personally see it as a camaraderie where I don't need to be number one, where us together prevents a number two, where it's like we can own everything between Chase and Amex, which prevents Capital One from getting closer. It's like 1 and 2 are a very close gap, and then there's a very far gap to number 3. You know what I mean? Like, we see this we see this in the tech space, and I was about to say that, like, Samsung and Apple, which are 1 and 2 when it comes to mobile devices here in the US, but actually globally. No, basically here in the US, depend on the region. Don't let me get into work stuff. But anyway, but then you have Pixel, which is number 3, but Pixel does not sell the same amount of phones as a Samsung or an Apple. So it's like this huge gap in between 2 and 3. And I think Chase and Amex realize like we can stay right up here and keep this gap as far as possible, where it doesn't matter if, like in war, you don't want to pick one side to win or bet on one side to win who's going to win. You want to bet on the one making the weapons. That person, that's the one that's going to win. And right now they're making the weapons, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah. No, certainly.
I was going to say, then there's also the $1,000 price tag. That comes with some weight. If we're like, you're seeing this with Lego right now, because Lego just released their first $1,000 set. And there's a lot of push and pull apprehensiveness. Was it worth it? Because it's $1,000, just because it's $1,000. Not that 900 wasn't a lot, folks. So I don't know what's going on in the Lego community. I'm like, it's a Star Wars thing. People pay extra. Star Wars costs an extra 30%.
Have you met the Danish?
I know. Trust me, I know. You pay a little bit extra when you add Star Wars to it, but the simple fact of, oh, if you're going to normalize 1,000, what do we get for 1,000? And you have, Amex would have had to come out 100% proper. Like I said, you can't say 1,000 without 1.5 in the travel portal. You have to steal that from your competitor, and you have to give us a reason to switch. Without that, it's like the value is not there.
Yeah. Also, expensive Danish things, that's not new. Bang & Olufsen.
Now, if they had that type of credit, that would have been a shot in the foot. That's one of those, we're going to give you something that we know you're not going to use.
Oh, no, the min-maxers
40% of the viewers probably only know who Bang & Olufsen are.
Have you met the internet? They would have found a way.
I would have loved to find a way. I would have loved to stack gift cards for the next 6 years so for a pair of Bang & Olufsen headphones.
Yep. All right. Do we have any final thoughts here? RJ, any final thoughts?
Not this week.
Craig? Lonnie, I think we just fleshed out the last of our final thoughts. Any others?
Nah, my left booty cheek's still dry. I'm waiting for somebody to show up.
That is, once again, not a line I'm even remotely going to join. My brain hurts.
And crack talk this episode.
With that, if you guys like what we do, please check us out at stackyourpoints.com. You can join our membership. You can see all of our channels.
The USPS postal carrier that has my card. Tell them y'all can drop it off any day now.
Lonnie's got the email that his card's ready to ship. He just hasn't seen it yet. He'll probably just show up tomorrow. All of this for nothing. This is just pure entertainment at this point. Yeah, you can join our membership. You can become members at the YouTube channel, but we do have new members this week. We have new silver members, Gabby Huberman Schlace. I hope I pronounced your last name properly. My apologies if I didn't. Rel, Ben Trimble, Brandon Hirsch, Matthew Smith, Sean D. Mike Newland has returned as a member of the channel. Thank you so much, Mike. Mark Silvis, Bill Wright is our new gold member, and as always, we have our diamond members: Rex Bleen, Rupert Pond, Double Animal Fries, AP, Keith, and Mitch 528. We appreciate you all for being members. To our new members, welcome. To our established members, thank you so much for your continued support. We look forward to seeing you guys next week. Bye for now.